Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Last month we did over $80,000 in gross revenue, and I want to break down our new fleet, our operations, what we got going on, and really give you kind of a fleet breakdown right now. So the exact amount that we did, I'm going to take a look at the Turo app. Last month on Turo alone, we did $67,267, which is crazy. Like, that's a huge jump from the month before, which was February. Just on Turo again, we did 14,615. So we did almost 5 times what we did the month before, which is, well, 4 times what we did the month before, which is crazy. Big reason for this is we got a lot of vehicle partners. We went from having like 24 cars to having almost 50 cars, which is a big reason. March is also one of the biggest months. The vehicles that we got were really high end. And then we also did private. So last month we did $15,000 in private bookings. So about $83,000 total for the month of March. And let's go down each car, and I want to talk about all the different cars that we have right now. First, we have our 2017 Audi Q7. This has been a great car, no issues with it. This one makes, it kind of ranges, but anywhere from like 1,000 to like 2,200 per month, just varies. It's a good car. I probably wouldn't get rid of it. It has like 64,000 miles right now. It's doing extremely well. Next one we have is our 2023 BMW M3 Comp. This car is super cool. This one is one of the new ones that we just got. Last month in gross revenue, it did $2,200, which was its first month. I think it did okay. It could have done a lot better. We did get it fairly like early midway into the month, so I'm sure it could have done better, but overall super cool car. It's gone right now. Next one is probably one of my favorite SUVs that we have. It's a 2023 BMW X5. Has like the crystal sphere shifter, and it's just like a beauty. It is such a cool car. I really like this. By the way, all the numbers I'm going over does not include private rentals, so obviously if we're talking about $83,000 in gross revenue, we're going to be missing some here because I'm talking about just this stuff. The 2023 BMW X5 gross revenue did $1,663. It was booked out a ton, like almost the whole month. And honestly, I love this car. Like, out of all the SUVs I have, I would probably daily drive this one. It feels fast. It feels luxurious. I mean, everything about it is sweet. Next, we have a 2016 Cadillac Escalade ESV. I like these. This one, we had a little bit of an issue midway through the month, so it was out for like a week. Just getting some repairs done, but it still did $1,608 in gross revenue, which is pretty good for being gone for a week. So not mad about that. Also, we did a little bit of private on that. Next, we have a 2023 Chevrolet Camaro. This one does really well. This individual has 5 cars with us right now, all newer Camaros and Mustangs. All right, so the Camaro did $2,068 last month, which I think is pretty good. Next, we have a 2023 Chevy Corvette C8. This one, I literally have not seen in a month and a half. Like, one individual has rented it, I think, for about a month and a half now. It's been crazy. So this one is at, the revenue isn't even gonna add up right because like the revenue comes into this month. The way it works is like if it's a single reservation, the revenue will go into the month that it's going into. So if it goes into April, then it's going to be into April's revenue, which is what it is. So last month it did $1,567 in revenue, and this month we're only the 10th of the month, and it's already above that. It's almost at $2,000 in revenue. It's probably going to do closer to like $3,500, which is absolutely nuts. Next car that we have is our 2020 Chevy Malibu. This is a classic car. We've had a couple Malibus now. I think this is our 3rd one we've owned. They're pretty consistent. I mean, they all do pretty well. This one just on Turo did $1,108 on Turo. We do a lot of private with cars like this, just standard economy cars. So we did a good amount of private on it. Next, this is actually a world record breaking car for Arizona. This is our 2017 Chevy Tahoe. We've had this one for a while, but it has been killing it. And last month alone, it did $73.74. It did almost $7,400 in a single month, which is like insane. And we did private as well with it. I mean, it probably did almost $8,000 for that 1 month, which is crazy. Again, that's somebody that just a single person rented it for almost the whole month, so that's why. They also smoked in it, and they left it with low gas. So there's a couple extra charges in there, but still $7,400 freaking dollars is nuts. Next is our 2021 Chrysler Voyager. I'm not a huge fan of these just because of cost versus what they generate. They're okay. I mean, this is one that we're going to sell after season, like for sure. There's no question. Let's see what it generated last month. It did $1,751. That may seem, you know, pretty decent, but like that's the best it'll ever do. Other than that, it's like $1,000, $1,200 a month, which for me, it doesn't feel worth it to own a $20,000, $30,000 car. Some people spend like $40,000 on those cars, and I just can't imagine it. So not me. Next is our 22 Dodge Charger Hellcat, which is right there. That one goes out tomorrow. That one had a wheel broken on it for a little while, but it did $1,595, so almost $1,600 for the month. This month it's already at $1,500, so it's probably gonna break $2,000 for sure. Probably go a bit above that, maybe like $2,500 for the month. Next is our 2015 Dodge Grand Caravan. This one we're getting new control arms on it right now. This one's okay. I mean, same with the other stuff. Minivans are just okay unless you can get like a really good deal on it. I don't know. I wouldn't really buy it. We are at, for March, we did $1,518, which again is pretty good. March is really hyperinflated, but I wouldn't buy another one of these unless I could get for like 10 grand. To be fair, I guess we haven't had a ton of issues, but I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of those. Next, this one's actually at a commission right now. We have a 2017 Ferrari 488 Spider. This one was recently in an accident. Working through the process right now. It's on a Turo reservation. Somebody like literally took a corner too fast, possibly drifted. I'm not entirely sure. It's just what it looked like on Bouncy. Hit a curb, airbag deployed on the passenger side. There is structural damage on it, tire, wheel, whatever. I mean, it's like all blown out. We'll see what happens with it. That we're still working on the process. Next is our 2013 Fiat 500. This is probably something maybe we'll hold, maybe sell after season. It's okay. I mean, it has like 90,000 miles. It's running great, no issues, but you know, stuff like that is a ticking time bomb. You just kind of want to watch out for. That one last month did $1,044, which for a Fiat 500 for a $5,000 car sounds pretty good to me. Next is our 2023 Ford Bronco. This is actually vehicle partners. Actually, a lot of these, like the higher end stuff, all vehicle partners. This one included, like, has been booked every single day. I think the biggest gap is like 2 or 3 days, and we blocked it out to get windows tinted on it for the vehicle partner. But last month it did $2,261. That car is literally, it's not here right now. It's always booked. It's crazy. That's probably one of the highest utilization cars we have right now, like by a long shot. Next is our 2013 Ford C-Max. I like these. We do a lot of private rentals with them. It actually goes to show for March for Turo because we only did $273. Oh, I remember this. We had a lady that booked it for like a month straight prior to March. Like February, we're showing $0 in revenue because she booked it like beginning of February to end of March. So that's why we're only showing $273 for this little tiny guy. Next, what we have is our 2018 Ford C-Max. These ones, I mean, they do pretty good. I would probably rather have the 13 than the 18. 18 was like 15 grand, 13 was like 11. And I'd rather have the cheaper one. March, this one did 1144, which is okay, but yeah, I'd rather have, you know, something that costs closer to 1,000 or 10,000 than something that's closer to 15. So we'll probably get rid of this one after season. Next, we have our 2020 Ford Fusion. This one was in an accident. It had a bumper replaced, so it was gone for a week and a half, which kind of sucked. So that one only made $571. This is another one that I want to sell. It's just like we spent 20 grand on it. We got it with like, I don't know, 12, 13, maybe 20,000 miles. No, mind, sorry, it was 27,000 miles. For what it costs, it's just not worth it. So that's something we want to sell for sure. Next, we have a 2015 Ford Fusion. This one we've had for a while. This one we do a ton of private with. So you can tell the economy, lower end stuff is what we really do private on. This one in March we only did $350. It's probably because we did a lot of private on it. Next is a 2024 Ford Mustang GT Premium. This thing is super cool. For any of those of you that haven't seen the new Mustangs, the GTs, sick. They're so cool. Last month it did $1,946. This month, it's already broken $2,000, almost at $2,400 for this month. So that's a great start. Next is a 2024 Ford Mustang EcoBoost. So not the GT, or not the 8-cylinder. This one did okay. This one did $1,100 for the month of March. Could have done better. It is a convertible, but still did okay. Not as good as the GT, of course. Next, we have a GMC Sierra 1500 pickup truck. It's 2017. This thing is gone all the time. Before we got this, I would hate on pickup trucks. This is a vehicle partner. I would hate on pickup trucks all the time. Like I never wanted one, but this thing is literally gone all the time. Last month I did $2,161, so $2,100, almost $2,200, which to me seems like a lot for a pickup truck. I mean, that seems pretty good to me. Next, we have our Let's see, we have a 2018 GMC Yukon. This is a vehicle partner. These do good. These do really good. Last month it did $22.32, so $2,200.32, but it was doing private rentals as well. I think it did one big private reservation. I think it was like $800, and it kind of spread into this month a little bit, but that's still pretty good. Next is our 19 Jeep Cherokee. These follow the same rules as the minivans. I want to sell them. We bought them for about 20 grand, and they just, like, March we did 1256. We did a couple privates with it, but I don't know, it's okay. They're actually right now, we won't be able to sell them for a couple months. They're on, I think they're like, it's on a 4-month long rental. Like, we have 2 of them that are on 4-month long rentals, which is great, but I don't know. After that, they're going to be gone. And by the way, for you, those of you who don't know, if you're doing private rentals at all, you can only do 1-month contracts at a time. If it's more than a month, it's a lease, and the insurance companies that they have won't cover it. So be careful of that. Next, we have our 2021 Jeep Cherokee. Same situation. It's out right now on a 4-month rental, but in March it did $14.39. That one did quite a bit better, 40% better than the last one. Then we have our 2017 Jeep Renegade. This one, wow. See, look at this. A Jeep Renegade, which costs half the price. This one maybe was like $8,600. We spent 20 grand. So this is almost a third the price. Did $14.58. Like, to think an $8,000 car could make as much as a $20,000 car. That's crazy. Like, I'd take the $8,000 car every day because I could buy almost 3 of them, as opposed to one car that only makes the same amount. So I take the Jeep Renegade every day. Next is a 2022 Kia Forte, which is vehicle partners. Honestly, I have not seen this car yet. It's been gone the whole time. Like, it came in and it's on, I gotta look this up. This has to be like some sort of record for somebody, including myself. Let's see. Like, literally the calendar's full from March 8th until May 2nd. It's booked. So many days this guy has it. There's maybe like one reservation between, or not in between, but like beforehand. This guy's a 49-day reservation. That's like a huge reservation. Next is we have a vehicle partner that has a couple Maseratis and this G-Wagon here. So these are actually all in a row somehow. 2018 Maserati Gran Turismo MC. This car, surprisingly, makes a buttload of money. Like, it's crazy. In March it did $3,396. I don't know if that sounds crazy to you, but to me that sounds insane. You can buy one of those for probably like $35,000 and it makes $3,300 a month. Okay, to be fair, the one thing you have to watch out for is maintenance on Maserati. Everybody knows that. They depreciate when you buy newer ones, but still, to make almost $3,400 on one car that's like 30-40 grand, that's nuts. That's insane. This month right now, it's on like a 3-week rental right now. This month, we're already set to make about 3 grand on it. So that's wild. That just seems so crazy to me. Next is that same vehicle partner. They have a 2017 Levante. Maserati fan. And last month it did $1,828. Not as good as the Gran Turismo, which is surprising. I mean, the Gran Turismo did 2 times the amount that the Levante did, even though the Levante is an SUV. Kind of breaks standards, but still did really well. Next is this bad boy. This 2018 Mercedes G63 AMG. This one did okay. I would expect a little better, but still pretty good in my books. It did $2,820, so about $2,800, which still I think is pretty good. And this thing has bookings for obviously through this month in May, and then we have some in October too. So that's pretty good. I like to see that. Next, we have a Nissan Armada, which is the same person actually that has the G-Wagon and the other cars. This one did $1,873 in March, which I think is great. That thing rents out for like a ton a day. I mean, that's a huge car. I think it's a 7-seater. Next, we have a 911, which is this right here. This individual has the M3 as well. Last month it grossed $3,383. That's pretty good if you were to compare that to like Maserati. You know, it's making the same amount, but you know, which one do you really want? That's the question. The Porsche is cool. That's probably actually one of my favorite cars in the fleet. The color looks good. It just, I don't know, it's such a cool car. It's been one of my favorite cars since I was a kid. Next is a 2018 Model X. This one has been booked out pretty solidly. It's done just under $1,500 in gross revenue for the month, which is pretty great. Next, we have all Volkswagens. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 Volkswagens. So we'll just kind of knock through those. We'll go through this one first, and I'll tell you about what happened in the next one. We have a 2018 Volkswagen. It did $1,322 last month, which is okay. I mean, that's typically, these will do a lot of private around this time, which I'm sure that one did. But on Turo, that just doesn't seem that great. We have a 2020 white VW Tiguan. And this one did $477 last month because this was out on a reservation. Guest calls us, some weird noise is happening with the engine. He sends me a voice memo and the engine's knocking, which pretty much means, well, we replaced the engine essentially, which sucked. It was really expensive. We got our quote from Volkswagen was like $10,000 to replace the engine and the other things that came with it. Crazy. That stuff is not cheap. So the thing that sucked about it was on a Turo reservation. They didn't cover it. They said, no, this just happens sometimes. And I said, I don't think so. Because we looked at the bouncy and he was going like 130. He was decelerating crazy fast. He was accelerating really fast. Like, he's doing all these things and blew the engine. So I think it's 100% his fault, but you know, what do I know? Next is our 2020 gray Volkswagen Tiguan. This one did 1162. Did okay. This one did some private rentals as well. I think it's actually on a private rental right now. Yeah, these Tiguans do a lot of private, surprisingly. Next, we have our 21 VW. This one is at 1118 so far for the month of March, which is okay. These are obviously following a lot of the trends. Last year, around this time in March, we saw like 14 to 1700. So there's a little bit of a decrease, but we're also doing maybe more private than we were. So I don't know, that could be it. Let's see. And then I have the last one, which is our 21 VW Tiguan, did 1312 for March. So that's it. Did about 83,000 for gross revenue for March, which was our biggest month by far. The last biggest month that we had was last March, and it was closer to like 37,000. So literally almost 3 times the amount, which is crazy. I'm excited to keep you guys along for the journey. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you in the next video.